We're always so late. We might as well
I
start two
know.
minutes early today. So
That'll
here we
make
are.
up. Yeah. Are we live? Tell me when we're
According to
live.
this, we are.
Okay, everybody. So we are live and we are 2 minutes early and we're trying to make up for time that we lost yesterday. So 2 minutes, hey, we'll take it. 2 minutes here,
Gotta.
2 minutes there. It'll all add up to what did you estimate? 30 minutes we lost yesterday?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Uh, and today, guess what? I do not believe that we will be experiencing any technical difficulties. However, never say never. Uh,
I don't, and I'm knocking on wood for you.
I'm
Don't you dare jinx us.
not jinxing us, dear. It's always good in the hood, right?
I don't know. Sometimes just speaking the words
Here, I'm knocking two. I just knocked
is
two as
enough to
well.
do it, no matter the
Uh-huh.
intention.
I hear you. I just knocked on wood too, so
I'm
we do not.
superstitious like that.
Yeah, we do not have the sick baby with us. He went home with his parents. So,
A
thank you.
little bit. We miss him.
Yeah,
We love him, but
yeah,
it is
but
what it is.
yeah, you know me. I prefer that he doesn't scream. So,
Oh,
if I
that's
have
you. The
the
rest of us
option,
couldn't care.
well, it bothers me. And then yesterday was just priceless. Again, I'll repeat how sick he was. He had his first real vomiting, was nasty, curdled. And after I wiped his mouth, and then when it shot out of both nostrils, went up in the air and landed on both of his eyes, I tried my damnedest not to laugh because he was so upset, but it was the funniest thing I had ever seen.
Oh, I can believe it.
I mean, I in my life had never seen anything like it. I mean, that if I was thinking, I would have taken a picture of it. But he was so distraught that I hurried up and got the wipes and, tried to get it out of his eyes and everything. But it was epic. It
Oh,
was
I
an
bet.
epic, yeah, it was an epic uh, vomiting experience. So today he's still not feeling too well. And it was a little bit of a rough day, but I sent you something via Discord, Crazy Bee. That's not for today. That's for me and you for later. Okay? What
Okay.
I just sent you.
Yep,
But
I see we have a blue rose in the chat.
hey Blue, how you doing, girl? Um, and then I woke up, I guess around 11ish. I I think it was that time. I don't remember. Could have been earlier, could have been later. I know I haven't been to bed since at least 1 o'clock. Uh, and I was cold, and then I started shivering, like teeth chattering, shivering, and I'm like, oh
Hmm.
no, we got a fever going on. So we were almost at 101, and so I took some Tylenol and that, and tried to settle down, and so I wasn't feeling too well. So I called them this morning and said, this is what I think is going on. It's up to you guys if you want me to watch them or not. Obviously I wouldn't kiss them or whatever. But so he came down and just left a little bit ago. So
Oh, that's
we
good.
shall see. But other than that, all's quiet. Other than uh, we're still trying to recover from the scream from yesterday. Maybe I could do like what are they called? Like
Horror movie voiceovers.
yes. How about you think I could do that?
You do better than half the actresses they have on TV.
Yeah, maybe I could do
Because
that.
yours
I
is
could do
genuine fear.
I could yes, for anybody that did not listen to yesterday's episode, please do so. You will hear me scream at the top of my lungs.
Bloody effing
Due,
murder.
yes, due to being terrorized by my husband who came in unexpectedly, and I was wearing my headphones and never heard him. So I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and as I turned, it was him, and he scared the living daylights out of me because I
See,
didn't
that's what's
expect
so
him.
weird. It's like I don't get scared like that. So and for me, it's weird to think people can actually be that startled
Yes.
so
Well,
easily
see,
because
when,
nothing like that startles me like that. And like, I
yeah,
mean, if I see a bug, I'm not necessarily going to be startled into a scream, but I'm then going to
right,
scream, "Someone get in here and kill it!"
right,
Not
right,
out of fear of the actual sight of it, but I don't want that spider in here. So I'm not like I see it start shrieking, "Oh my god!" And then
right,
someone come kill it. No, it's just get in here
right,
and kill this thing. Yes.
right.
So I
See,
don't get. For me, it's weird.
we used to, as kids, there was, in the dining room, the wall came out, I don't know, 3 feet, or maybe there was this little portion that went into the living room. My brothers would hide behind this wall, and you never knew what the heck you were coming into. You know, you'd walk in, they'd scream, you'd jump, they'd grab you, you'd scream, they'd tackle you, you'd scream. I mean, it was
Oh, someone
always,
grabs me unexpectedly, I just turn and punch. I don't
yeah,
scream.
well,
I just
that's what
like
yeah, that's what
that's
it
my
turned
initial
into.
response. Well, no,
Yes.
that's all it's ever been my entire life. I've never
Hmm.
had a typical fear response like normal people.
Hmm. Well, we know you're
So it's
not
weird.
normal, so I
Well, I
know.
know I'm not normal, but it's just like I get why most people would be afraid, even if
Uh-huh.
after being conditioned to be afraid, or you think most
Uh-huh.
people would be used to it. But in my
Right.
case, I've never had that jumping scare response or that
That's
fear response like that. I just someone grabs me or pops out of nowhere, you're probably getting punched. And I had to
right.
control that punch reflex
Right.
because that's not nice.
Right.
Like I was only
And
playing. Well, sorry.
and yeah, and that's what used to happen, right? After a while, they'd jump out and then they'd get whapped in the stomach or in the chest, sometimes in the face, because you never knew where the hands were flying. So
Yeah,
something was always going on with the two of them. I mean, they tortured me and my sister. Honest to God, they did. It was, uh, it was funny, now, but it was torturous at the time.
yeah. And see, for me, I would just either laugh at him or throw something at him, like a fist or a shoe
Hmm.
or a whatever. It wasn't like, and again, this wasn't even just my brother. We had neighborhood kids that were over constantly and stuff.
Hmm.
Foster siblings in the house that were older, cousins that were over, kids from church. There was never really boring. There's always something
Right,
on, and it wasn't even so much at the house. You could be walking down the road and sitting behind the edge of the building as jackass number two who decides to scream at you and try to scare you.
right,
And all
right.
the girls would screech and run and all this stuff, and even some of the guys, and I'd just be like, and everyone's would look at
Really?
me like I'm stupid.
No, you'd be like, really? So, Blue, I'm glad that the laugh had you die laughing. And I did tell Crazy B today about your niece finding the
Yes,
spider. It
she
took
is far braver than me.
every, it took everything. I told her that the spider was on its back with its legs wiggling up in the air for somebody to save it. And I did tell Crazy B there is a picture of it, and
I'm good without it.
she told me that if I sent it to her, I wouldn't be talking to her for a couple weeks.
A couple, yeah, that sounds
You
about
said
right. Yeah,
weeks. You said
yeah,
weeks. Yes, you
it would
did.
probably be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So she's done being tortured, I guess, with the spiders. I'm gonna have to come up with something different. Uh, I could either mail a live one to you, via the post office,
Next thing that comes
or
from you is going to get hit with a bat before I open it.
no, Wait, you might break something. You don't know.
Well, then
Don't.
you better not threaten to send a spider in the mail because I don't
Okay.
care.
Okay, so what if I sent it dead taped to cardboard?
I would leave it on the porch until someone else removed it from the cardboard. And if the porch pirates take it, the porch pirates take it.
There you go. Oh shit, that's funny.
But do
Now I
expect that I would be sending an ant farm to your grandsons.
I
Wouldn't you?
know, I know. Don't even go there. I told you already that the ants on the counter are the size from your knuckle on your thumb to the tip of your finger, to the tip of your thumb. That's how big they are, and they are black and purple.
Well,
And they're
technically, you have two knuckles in your thumb.
well, it's the well, now we're going to get technical, so all right. It's the second knuckle then. How's that?
Medically, it's called the
No.
distal. Distal,
No,
but
it would
it's
be the
okay.
first knuckle. It's the
The
first
one
knuckle.
by your hand or the one by your nail.
What do you mean?
Is it the knuckle that's right below your thumbnail or the one that
Right below your
goes into your
thumbnail.
hand?
No, the right below your thumbnail.
Okay, so that's the okay, that makes sense. But technically, there are two knuckles in your thumb. One leads
Okay.
to the hand. Actually, three, if you really think about it, because then there's the one down by the wrist that makes it even flexible, which is why it's called an opposable thumb. But I'm going to shut up. Anyways,
No, well, this is interesting. And by the way, somehow I cut that with an, oh, I wonder what I cut that on. Interesting. I'm bleeding. But anyway, those ants are like, and they're juicy. I mean, they're like, I think they're purple because they're possibly the ones living maybe in the blackberry bushes. I wonder.
giant black purple ants. Let me look at
Uh-huh.
this. Hold on.
Purple and black. They're purple and black. Do I want to know? They're probably ones that are going to take the house away. Oh no.
I know I'm wondering if they're the carpenter ants. Those tend to be big. Yeah, the
Uh,
carpenter ants. They're the larger of the ants in North America. They can range anywhere from a quarter inch to a half inch in length. It's carpenter ants.
and they're black and purple.
Yeah, it's not because of what they eat, that's just their color. But yeah,
I've
they're
known
carpenter ants.
I've known carpenter ants. Send that to me, please. I've known them to be a different color. This is interesting. Hmm.
I put in specifically your area, and I
Okay.
put in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And oh wait, no, I put Pacific Northwest. No. Oh my
Oh,
lord.
they're still
Oh, no,
probably
they're still
carpenter
black
ants.
carpenter ants. They're still
Yeah.
considered black carpenter ants in your area. They have like a black head and a black or purple head and butt, and then the middle is
Yeah.
brown
No, the
or
middle was
black.
purple. Yeah,
It
the
could be
middle's
black.
purple.
Yes, it's they're
Okay.
often mistaken for purple, but they're actually black, just shiny, so it makes them look kind of purple. It can be anywhere from
Send,
black to dark brown.
send it to me. That
Okay,
means
let me do
that
that.
means he's got to get under the house. Fudge bucket balls.
Okay, that's up
Well,
on that's going to be up on Discord for you.
thank you,
It
dear.
sounded because what you were describing sounds like a carpenter ant that I'm familiar with,
Yeah.
and that's what it makes. I mean, that's what I've always known them as is carpenter ants.
Yeah,
And hmm,
yeah, that, we won't get into that. I'm thinking of something different. And Blue writes, Dee, you better watch out. She's going to send you all these insects, bees, wasps, etc. Yeah, that is true.
you're afraid of more
Hmm.
bugs than I am.
Oh yeah, I am. You got
Makes my
that
job
right.
at revenge is
Uh-huh.
so much easier.
Exactly. I'll be the one with the baseball bat hitting stuff
Mhm.
that you send. Okay. Shit. Oh, it's a look here. It's a little package from Crazy Bee. Whap! Just send it out into the yard with a baseball bat.
Well, that's like I said, if you want to go ahead and send me something in the mail with a bug in it or a spider in
that
it, I
that's
promise you
okay.
what's going to happen.
Oh, Art says we have carpenter ants in the Pacific Northwest too. Then there are the moisture ants. Don't get me started. One, I hate the word moisture. Oh, well, no,
Well,
moist
what else are they
actually.
supposed to call it?
Well, what's a moisture ant?
It's probably ants that tend to come out in moisture temperatures or moist days, like when there's more rain, moisture.
So what? Their place got flooded, or they're looking for more water to
I think
take
they're more
back to
looking
the
for somewhere dry. I think they're looking for something
right.
more dry, and that's, I mean, what it's like the sweat bees. I mean,
What
people
the
are
hell is
like,
a sweat bee?
"Really?"
Yeah, really? I never heard of a sweat bee.
There's other names for them. Let me pull it up. Um, it's
Art,
actually
what is
not
it?
a bee.
Okay. Art,
Well, I
what
mean,
is a
technically.
moisture ant? A sweat bee.
Yeah, I'll show you. Here, I'll just show it because this one doesn't
Okay, go
bother me.
ahead. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't bother me either.
So, those are not the right ones, but this thing down here is what we would normally call a sweat bee. It's tiny, yellow and black. It's the size of a fly, and they have a tendency to bite people. Not venomous, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But
What
yeah,
other names do
they.
they go by?
Um, I don't know. Let's go back to Google. Um, uh, they're
Huh.
one of 6. I don't know, what other names do they go by? Hold on.
Yeah. I've seen them, but I don't know what. Well, we just call them bees. Anything that's like a bee is a bee. Ah, except we distinguish flies, from a horse fly
Yeah.
to that stuff.
They're Halcited. There's a lot of scientific names, but sweat bee is the most common. Ooh, that one's pretty yellow and green.
Yeah, it is. I've seen those before.
Yeah, they're just most people wouldn't even know there's a difference between them and any other bee. They're also known as sweat flies,
Yeah,
according to AI.
right. If I would see that, I would probably say that was a fly versus a bee.
Yeah,
Hmm,
but they're actually a type of bee, or the size of a fly, or there's like some kind of in between thing, but
right,
whatever. Yeah, no, there's the yellow and brown ones, the green and yellows, and the blacks, and there's a variety of them. But
right.
yeah, yep. Known as sweat bees. I'm used to those. They're the only ones I'm not really allergic to.
Wow. You're allergic to
Moisture
all the other
ants
ones.
look like normal house ants, but they are destructive like carpenter ants.
Huh.
These ants
Oh,
will eat wet wood, which is all over up here with 80 inches of rain each year. Oh,
wow.
dang.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't live there.
And, we have all these trees and down trees, and yeah, we've got a lot of wet wood around here.
Mhm.
Oh, and that makes sense where the frickin' fire, yeah, huh, the wood for the fireplace is too. They're probably
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
ants love to hide in there.
Oh,
Mhm. Oh, yep.
ugh.
Definitely, if it's near the house, guess where they're coming next? You may have
Uh-huh,
to move that wood pile.
that's exactly why and where he's gonna have to move it because it's right up against the porch
Well,
right now.
yeah, that's a quick little trip up into the house.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like, come on, when she has the door open to let the dog out, everybody just come on in. We'll head into and take out whatever we want in the
Oh, they don't even
refrigerator.
necessarily have to wait for you to open the
Oh,
door. They can find
I
cracks
know,
in the foundation, cracks in
I
the
know,
door,
I know.
windows. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. See,
Ugh.
everybody, how we got sidetracked as usual today, but think of the
It's
things that
been
you learned.
overly educational.
Correct. The unnecessary, useless, however, potential informing information that you received today.
If you wanna annoy all the drunk people at a party, take this info and use it.
Why don't you place that Google search up there with the what you call it, or you did already?
Oh, the sweat bees with the,
Yeah,
show notes?
yeah, yes. Why don't you
And
throw the sweat bees just a Google
alright.
search, and if anybody's interested, uh, because as I mentioned, when we see that green one, we call that a type of fly. We wouldn't call it a bee, but that's very interesting to know that it is really a bee. Hmm.
Mhm.
Bum,
That is
bum.
some, unnecessary information that your brain really doesn't want, but here we are.
Yes, and one day it'll become useful. You'll see a green type of insect and you'll go, "Oh, it's a sweat bee." And they'll be looking at you like you're crazy. Never heard that
Uh-huh.
before.
And then there's gonna be the people like me who are like, "Oh, yeah, I already know about that shit. What's your point?"
Uh-huh. Yep. They'll be like, what are you talking about?
Uh,
All right, so what do we
oh.
got up first here today, Crazy Bee?
Well, you're gonna have to hold on a
First,
second,
all right,
because we do have an article. Um,
all right.
it is first, and since you need me to scroll the screen, we'll have to do that in just a moment.
One moment, please, while we get our act together.
What act? I didn't know
Yeah,
you were
what act?
we had an act.
It's something.
Okay, well, sure.
Yeah. One day we'll get where we want to be. So save
We're
you
mostly
today.
organized, but, shit
Yes,
happens, right?
yes, it does. And then I do things to create. You want to talk about a funny day today was uh just trying to get organized with stuff. I do things one way, Crazy B does it another way, and we were trying to condense things. One was the funniest thing was I think she mentioned yesterday how I did Tuesday, July 8th, and then I had a July 8th folder, but in my self-defense, I was sick. I'm still sick. That's my excuse. So this morning I attempted to uh, work it the way that Crazy Bee had it, but things just weren't working. And I finally said, "Oh, the heck with it. I'm just going to go into her show notes and put the dates in red, and anything that I added on, she can take a look at." So
Mhm.
I do drive her crazy because I'll either put stuff in actually potentially three different places. So
It's
yes,
hide and seek or like a
yes,
Where's Waldo.
yes, yes, I am aware of carpenter bees. I'm aware of those too. I know what they are. But it is I'll say, "Did you get that?" And she'll be like, "Well, where is it?" And by the time that I she's asking about it, I've already moved on to maybe eight other things, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she'll be like, "Oh, well, where is this at?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah, I can save
It,
myself the headache and just start searching through each one
right.
individually and eventually moving it into one location. That works
So
for
right
me.
so right now everything's in one spot, is it not?
No, I think it's still across two spots, but I leave it alone. Don't worry about it. Just post it where you are comfortable posting it. I will eventually find it, download it, edit it, and share it.
Well, okay, so the stuff that is in your area is a for sure. But and
Yes.
we right? And the other
Yeah,
one is what so we have it labeled what? Tuesday shows and D stuff, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, so D stuff is stuff that I'm working on that I'm not quite ready to give to Crazy B yet. So I try to leave it separate so that I don't drive her crazy, but I do
You know
anyway.
what works a mir what no, actually, it doesn't really drive me crazy because what I do is I leave a tab open with the document of the stuff that I've already edited, and I'm making sure the links are in order and everything. I
Hmm.
leave that permanently open. So
Right.
if you add something to a different document, I will just open another tab, reopen the Google Documents at the main page and go to where you want it and then just copy and paste it over. So I don't get confused as to which belonged where originally.
Well, I'm confused, so let me start reading. All right. I love you. You know that?
You just keep having fun. I'll get it figured out. Don't worry.
We'll get it. We'll get it one day, maybe. Don't count on it though. Okay, so our first article we have up was published almost 2 weeks ago. Zoran Mandami proposes shifting the tax burden in New York City to richer and whiter neighborhoods. And
Uh huh.
uh, he really got slammed for the racial component that
Which is
making
weird
that's
because normally screw white people.
hmm. So Mandami, a New York City mayoral candidate, proposed raising property taxes on wealthier neighborhoods to make the tax system fairer. Mandami's plan aims to reduce the tax burden on homeowners in lower income areas while increasing it for expensive properties. The proposal attracted criticism from conservative figures, including Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights Harvey Dillon, who threatened to investigate the plan. Mandami stated that his tax plan is not driven by race, insisting it is an assessment of undertaxed versus overtaxed neighborhoods. Now,
Yeah.
before we go further, the interesting piece that he really I don't think is receiving enough criticism of is it's just the whiter neighborhoods are not the wealthiest neighborhoods. Those
Uh
neighborhoods
huh.
would be the Asians, and guess who the number one group is? Go ahead,
I'm
guess,
sure
Crazy B.
anybody and anybody other than typical Americans, the ones
It
who were
is
born
the
and raised here.
it is the Indians from India who is the wealthiest in New York City. However, he's not going to say that, although this tax plan will affect the Asians and the Indians from India. He's not going to say that because that will blow his whole plan poof, right out the water.
Mm-hmm.
So rather, he's going to say it's from the whiter neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Um,
that ain't gonna fly well with a lot of people.
I don't know. So this was just the summary, correct? That we had?
Yeah, that's just a summary. There isn't really any other articles. It just is
Right,
links to articles.
correct. And we'll have those posted. Uh, they're basically, again, they've taken all of the 70 articles that are in there and basically have condensed this. In fact, I'm not sure if when we put that in there, do they just get I've never looked. Well, I'll look
It'll
when
take
after
them
we,
straight to this page. The
okay,
link that we post in the description will bring them to exactly here.
Gotcha. Do they have access to the 70 articles?
I have no clue because we use the account login.
Right,
Um,
right.
I'm
Could
sure they're allowed
somebody,
free 5 articles.
right, per
Um,
day, per
yeah.
day. Yeah. All right. All right. So that's okay. That'll work. All right.
Yeah.
What do you got next for us?
We got only videos left on Mamdani as of right
Okay.
now.
Right. I am
So
working on a
let
couple other things, but
me. Okay, so here's the first one.
uh-huh.
These are exceedingly taxing, by the way, to listen to these people over and over again.
I
But
know.
anyways, this one's only 4 minutes, so we're good. Um, but yeah, listen to this shit because it's going to be brought up again in various other interviews he does. This topic right here, I know it's in at least one other interview. Oh, come on, hit play.
The polls are open in the New York City mayoral primary. Socialist candidate Zorahn Mamdani, he proposes to open grocery stores owned and operated by the government. Here with me now is John Katsumatidis. He is the owner of a very well-known grocery chain. It's called Shady. And John, I want to know what you think a government-run grocery store would look like.
Well, it didn't work in Moscow.
True.
When I growing up, I learned one thing: don't fight City Hall. So if City Hall is running the grocery stores, let them run it. Don't arrest anybody. Give it away for free, and let the people eat.
You're not going to close down Gristedes,
Well, I'm not going to fight City Hall.
but you're not going to close it down.
Well, you never know.
That's your, come on, that's
You
your
never
chain.
know.
I mean, it's a threat, but you're not going to do it.
Let me say something. The toughest business, we have a lot of companies. We have 7, 8, 10 companies. And if my son is taking over, and guess what? The toughest company we have is retail food. So do I want my son to suffer?
But you want him to inherit the grocery store chain that
No,
you
they
bought.
let him inherit the oil company who's doing very well. Let him inherit, the real estate company is doing very well. And let him inherit our investment company is doing very well. But
Okay. No,
I did it. 54 years I did it. My time is up.
right. Mandami. He's a socialist. What does that do to New York? Because he's going to tax
It's going
the
to
rich.
hurt.
Crazy Bee, is everything okay on your end there? Hello? And you can't hear anything. So I shall be back, maybe. She is offline. Yes, it broke. I don't know if anybody can hear me or not. Uh, okay, she says that it's her end and that she will be right back. So let's see what we have in the comments. Um, they're scrolling by awfully quick. Art says, I'm sorry, but food is not expensive because grocery stores are making tons of money. It's the expense of their customers. My dad was in that business for a while. Blue Rose said, the bee is gone. Four Corners, how you doing? Nice to see you. You owe me a DM back, please, sir. He says that it broke. Blue says hi, Four Corners. Art says he can hear me. Four Corners says we can hear you. Blue says I have static. That's probably my voice. And we got Four Corners saying hi to Blue Rose and to Art. So other than that, Blue is saying I still have static. I don't know why. I shouldn't have any static. I don't know if that's any better or not, Blue. Does anybody else hear me with static? I really need to get the laptop up and running. Static is minor. When you speak, it sounds like fireworks. Probably because I'm wearing my headset. Hold on, I'll disconnect from the headset, and who knows what's going to happen at this point. I'll be right back. All right, I believe I'm back without headphones, and hopefully the static is gone. Blue, what do you hear? I guess that pair of headsets isn't going to work. Sounds so much better. Audio's better. All right. Oh, you don't see my message? Four Corners. I will resend it. It's been several weeks, so I'll send it again. Keep an eye out for it. I'll do it right after the show. All right, that's great because I've been waiting to connect up with you guys. We want to get something lined up. In the meantime, what else do I have? I should probably keep a binder or some type of note. I can't. I don't know if I can split screen this. Hold on one second. Uh-oh. I don't know if I lost you guys or not. I hope I didn't.
Am I back?
You're back.
Hi. Sorry, I don't know what happened. My internet just decided you don't need to work today.
Well, nothing seems to be working. My headset, everybody said, was crackling and it sounded like fireworks and blah blah, so I disconnected from there. So, welcome back, Crazy
Okay.
Bee. You know, it
For
would not
once, it wasn't
be,
you getting booted around, it was me.
yeah, it would not be a day unless we experienced technical difficulties. You know that
Uh
there
huh.
has not been not one day since we started in March that we've not had something happen.
Yep.
One way or another. Even like the harder we try, like earlier, we just had gotten up and running, and I get booted out because why?
error calls. And I had already
Yep.
called him and left him a message. And I'm hollering on the phone and he won't answer me because why? He butt dialed me. And anytime I get a
Hopefully he didn't
call,
fart.
I hope not. And every time I get a call, I get kicked out of the system. So we got to look into how
We
to
might
prevent
have
that.
to switch to OBS, which is a software program based studio, not a web based. So
Yeah,
it doesn't crash as frequently. Or at least I've not had any problems while using it with gaming and stuff.
right.
So,
We'll
and
have
then we
to,
would just have to talk through Discord as the voice part and then share the screen for whatever I'm showing
yeah,
and kind of wing it from there.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get there.
Yeah, well, might
So,
as well use our year's subscription while we've got it, though.
yeah. So Art says, you know what they say, to err is human. To really screw things up requires a computer. I never heard that, but I like that.
I can
I
believe it.
Yeah, I could use that as an excuse. Blue says she'll be right back. All right, so you want to continue with this piece?
Yeah, let's pick
Okay,
off the last 2 minutes of the video,
okay,
and then we will swap over. Where? Let me back it up to where. Um, hold on, where was it? Let's take it right here and see where it goes. I might
okay.
have to fast forward.
What does that do to New
Oh, is it showing through? Are you guys
Yes,
able to hear it?
yes.
York?
Okay.
Because it's going to tax
It's
the
going to
rich,
hurt New
tax
York.
corporations. It's going
It's
to
gonna,
free bus rides, for heaven's sake.
it's going to hurt New York. I would say a lot of the capitalists, a lot of the business people say, I don't want to fight City Hall. So, Florida, here I come.
Okay. Now, you're in a variety of businesses, including the oil business.
Yes.
You got it right yesterday. You suggested that the price of oil was going to drop big time. You can't close the Strait of Hormuz, and we got this ceasefire. Okay, we're at $65 a barrel now for oil. Good news as far as the consumer is concerned. How low is it going to go?
I think the variable will be anywhere between 55 and 65, probably a 60, 61. I said yesterday that if we work well with the Canadian government, which they want to work with us, I met with the Minister of Energy last week of Ontario, and guess what? We're a powerhouse. North America is a powerhouse. We got more energy than the rest of the world put together. And in putting together more pipelines from Canada, from Alaska, and developing our own resources. Let America win again.
Good for the economy? Good for
Absolutely
the consumer?
agree.
Lowers
Good for
inflation?
the economy. I predict, Brady, the end of the year, you're going to have that Dow Jones average closer to 50 because everything is going our way.
Excuse me, 50,000?
Closer to 50,
It's
yes.
50. It's 42 right now.
No, it was
That was
45 a couple months ago.
That was a wild suggestion, John, and you know it.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. I think people will have the thing that's hurting the economy right now. Powell. Interest rates deserve to be lower. He is doing the same thing the federal judges are doing. They're attacking. Some of the Democratic federal judges are having the White House under attack. It has to go to the appeals court, has to go to the Supreme Court to get it reversed. And you can't have the other side of government fighting the President of the United States.
So rates down, no to the socialists, and you're not going to get out of Gristedes. John Katsomatidis, I don't care what you say. You're all right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
He's a smart man, and he's
I
not
mean, for
really.
him to be divested in so many areas, he played it smart. You know what I mean? He just didn't stay in the grocery store business.
Yeah, he diversified, which
Exactly.
is something we lectured a young one on my Discord server about. Yes, for most of yesterday, is
Uh-huh.
you want to blame this one group of people? How about you be like them and diversify your investments and have plenty of money coming in?
Exactly.
Um, anyone who's on my server will know that conversation. If not, well, Oh well, but that's my gaming server, where we go for games and goofing around. But yeah,
The other
it's
thing is,
yeah,
go
kids
ahead.
are messed up these days.
The other thing that's interesting is with the lower rates on gas, we've yet to get any relief here.
Uh
Our
huh.
our prices are still the same. They have not dropped. But
Yep.
Pennsylvania happens to be, the pothole capital of the world. Uh, they are one of the highest tax burdens, for gas tax that they add stuff onto. So I don't really see us getting down to what other parts of the country are doing.
Oh, I mean, even in my area, we haven't seen a drastic change,
Mm-hmm.
but I will tell you, it is still cheaper than most other countries, states.
Mm-hmm.
Do what I mean, not what I say. Um, yeah,
All right.
but all
What's
right,
up next?
ready for the next one?
You got it.
Turns out Chicago has a newspaper that decided to warn New York about these socialist programs.
Wow.
So let's take a listen in on what they have to say about this newspaper article.
Welcome back. It's election day here in New York City, where the 33-year-old socialist candidate Zorahn Mamdani is the favorite to be the Democrat nominee for mayor.
Ooh, Art says it's still $5 a gallon and up. Oh wow,
Wow.
we're just hovering around three. Between 2.75 and 3 a gallon last I knew.
Really? We're still
Hmm.
around 365 and up. Wow.
Like I said, my area is still lower than most places, but we haven't seen much change.
Mm-hmm.
So, gotta love our economy. And, well, our economy.
There you go.
All right, let me hit play.
Mayor Mamdani's platform is freebie filled. We're talking about things like rent freezes, city operated supermarkets, free transit, a $30 minimum wage, all the hits you could possibly imagine. But New York is getting a warning from an unexpected source. The biggest paper in Chicago, the Chicago Tribune, says don't do it. It doesn't end well, because if anyone can spot a doomed mayoral term, it is somebody who lives in Chicago.
Chicago has had one doomed mayor after
After
another.
another. But they keep voting them in. That's what I don't understand.
Stupidity. They have not connected that this political promise, these wonderful things that are free, and I'm using air quotes, equals my life will be miserable. They can't make that connection. There's this massive disconnect between the two instead of the major connection that needs to be there.
Well, what will it take to make that connection? And this is where
Less
this
lead in the toys, less mercury in the thermometers.
this is where I
Sorry,
fault the Republicans. I think they do such a bad job in messaging.
they are terrible at it.
Mm-hmm. Where the Democrats, they send out, here's the word of the day. Oh, that's just like Sesame Street. What's the number? What's the number? What's the
Number of
letter
the
of the
day,
day?
letter of
What's
the
the letter
day,
of the
word
day?
of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah. And so this would be, like, what's the word of the day? What's the word of the day for the news channels? Um, because you hear everybody repeat the same word. How does that get out? It's got to go by email, text message, or something. They all were using the same word that day.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to keep their caucuses together. You know what I mean? How is it that Nancy Pelosi had every single person lockstep?
Mafia threats towards family and friends.
Okay.
That's the only one I've ever been able to really come up with.
Well,
Mafia style threats towards family and friends.
and there's nobody on the Republican side that could do the same type of threats.
Oh, you mean go equally corrupt and be just as
Yeah.
bad as the person they're trying to defeat? Okay, God, go ahead, act as bad as the devil.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we got the devil and then we got the Bible thumper who, can't keep shit together.
There is no such thing as taking the high road if you do exactly what the bad guys have done in the
Well,
same crime.
I hear you. I'm
I'm
just
sorry,
saying,
my morals won't
they,
let me do that.
well, I'm not, don't come at me saying I don't have morals. I'm just saying,
I didn't say that.
they,
I said
I
mine.
know,
I
but
support someone who even does that. If you're going to fight dirty, I can understand putting out truth campaigns. I can understand putting out facts, but do not go and play the same corrupt bullcrap, taking money from corruption, taking money from terrorists. Don't do that and then claim you're better than that person just because you have a different policy.
I don't disagree with that. But the ones that are doing corrupt things should be somehow taken out of office. If
Well,
indeed
that
what you're
requires
suggesting,
voters being smarter.
well, if indeed what you're suggesting about Pelosi, then somehow somebody should have been able to take her down. She should have been somehow
Come on,
deported,
Giselle Maxwell or whatever is in prison for trafficking children to no one.
right?
How much you want to bet Pelosi's entire family and political team? The Clintons have had more
I know.
friends commit suicide. And you know what's strange? We'll never get the facts on it. We'll never get the proof.
Oh
There
no.
are people sitting in jail for crimes to nobody.
Right.
And yet they're sitting in jail while our current administration is telling us, yeah, she's sitting in jail for trafficking all these kids to nobody. There is no client list.
Well, she should be
Our
able to
we
get out
literally
then.
have almost equal corruption, or honestly at this point I say both sides are equally corrupt and they all need to be voted out.
So
AKA Newton
I don't
Swamp.
disagree with that.
I don't care if I like their policy. If you have any corruption on you, get the hell out of office.
Well, they would all have to be looked at. They'd probably, the majority of them would have to go, I would venture to say.
I would hope that. And even if it's a politician I tend to like that John Kennedy out of Louisiana, Rand
Right.
Paul, or there's like two others from I don't remember where. But even if they have a degree of corruption, bye. I am that heartless when it comes to zero tolerance for corruption. I won't even tolerate it to get a policy I like.
Well, we'll be talking about that down the road
Yeah.
shortly.
Mhm.
I don't know if that'll be
I just
today or not, but that will be brought
yep.
up. But
Oh,
the
it's just messed up the way it's all going.
the bottom line is the Republicans, I mean, I used to when I was out on Twitter, right? Every day I sent the same tweet to the Republican Party, to everybody that was I possibly could on here are the bullet points that you need to talk about. This is what the American people need to know about. The economy, blah 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 blah, the border, whatever. Just here are the bullet points. Nobody is going up and talking about this stuff. They do
And none
this
of them ever will.
No, they do this piecemeal, half-ass, like today is, oh yeah, we're talking about, the border and, that's all we're going to do. But yet you see the Democrats come out with mailers and pamphlets and phone calls and text messages and, you know, any type of vehicle that they can use to get a message out, they're using.
Hmm.
When the general election happened in November, I had not seen not one piece of uh, mailers come through for any of the Republican Party. Not one. Not a flyer, not a brochure, not one. You can't believe what I got from the Democrats. It was absolutely mind-boggling what they sent. So I called the chairman of the local Republican Party and said, I want to know why I'm not seeing anything. And their response was, you vote. And I said, what? And they go, well, you vote, so we only have so much money to use to send out to people in the way of mailers. And since you vote, we assume that, you know which candidate that you want. And I'm like, are you serious? And they're like, absolutely. So, unless it would be that and I'm doing my own research, I I don't even know technically maybe who's even running. Like that includes the school board, that includes who was running for, the county executive, all of that. I didn't get not
Hmm.
one thing from the Republican Party, not one.
But again, if you've already historically voted Republican all the time, there isn't much reason to send it to you. I can see their perspective. I'm not saying it's right, but I see their perspective.
Oh, I don't I understand their perspective. However, if I don't know the name of a candidate that's running for a county executive, why am I having to spend all this time on my computer trying to research who it is, who's running, blah, blah, blah? Why aren't I getting one piece, at least something in the mail saying Crazy B is running? You know what I mean? Why do I got to try to find out who is the running for the county executive?
Because at least by doing it yourself, you know you're getting unbiased information.
Well, yeah, that's a given, but you would think that they would send something, particularly since they have an email address. They don't even send it by email.
One, I don't check email. Anything that comes in my mailbox that isn't something that requires me to look at, if it's a postcard or anything like that, it just usually goes straight to the trash.
Well, if it's from well, and I also told you the Dems also have me listed as a man. I will not divulge
Uh
the
huh.
name that they gave me, but in addition to my real name, they also somebody identified me as a man with a totally different name, and it's pretty funny to get other resource information from them. And people have questioned me, why do you keep it? And I'm like, well, I got to know what's going on. So it's just a peek into their thought process. That's how I view it. I think it's funny as hell also that the messages and that I get from them are pretty funny. So,
They've given up on reaching out to me because I just don't bother with them.
hmm well, I don't know. All right,
It's
keep
mostly
going.
because I'm going to tell them all they're full of shit and they're all part of a uniparty system that's out to destroy all of America as a whole. But, that's just me and my nihilistic self.
Well, they're not going to listen to that. You know that.
And they're not going to listen to anything that anyone has to
No, they're
propose.
not.
Doesn't matter if it doesn't matter
Nope.
if you have the greatest idea or not. You are a voter, you don't get listened to either
Exactly.
side.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, welcome to Your World is Fucked.
All they want is the vote, and then when they get the vote, then things are like, well, who are you?
Yep, they
Yep.
just don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah, I've not been
All right,
encouraged by any of it, but go ahead, keep playing.
all right, let's hit play.
Let me come to you, Ken, on this first, because when we look at him specifically, Zorahn Mamdani, the Post wrote a little piece about him. He's barely ever had a real job. He worked for 3 years. He did try his career hand as a rapper. He failed at
Oh, is
that.
that right?
He had a job working for his mother. And they're calling him a Nepo baby. And all the things I listed there that he wants to give away to people, he's saying he wants to pay for by taxing big business to the hilt. And many big businesses here in New York have said if he's elected and he does that, we're out of here. That's it.
Yeah. This is a tired playbook. Money doesn't lie. And it's so interesting to see the Tribune come out and say, hey, this is sheer economics, and it doesn't work. You're going to have Venezuela in New York City. We know how this goes. And I love the point that you made about big business. At what point do they put their foot down and say, enough is enough? What are we going to have, London? I mean, what happens next? And to this guy, this is just a system candidate. And what really strikes me, and you all know this far better than I'm down in Nashville. But the first thing I thought of when I saw these poll numbers is how unlikable is Andrew Cuomo?
Right.
If this guy is edging him
Very
out.
unlikable.
And I think likability matters, and I think Cuomo is way better than this clown.
They're worried today that the heat, this overwhelming oppressive heat we're experiencing in New York City will keep people at home, which might take away any edge that Cuomo has. It'll be interesting to see. And I'll just remind everybody, you have to be a registered Democrat here in the city to be able to vote in the Democrat primary. So not everybody is going to be voting today. Brian, I want to get your take on him because, you know, I don't need to look at another failed experiment of another failed city. We don't need to be that. We've already had it as bad as we could see it in New York during the pandemic and the aftermath as a sanctuary city. And so, you know, I'm thinking about this to myself and saying the city will really be doomed.
Well, yeah. And, you know, I live in the city. I got kids who have to navigate the city. So I'm always thinking about, is this place a place where they can do that? Because if it's not, then I can't live here.
Yeah.
And this is like a defund the police guy. I really need us to refund the police in New York City. I just, as a parent with care of young people, I need us to refund the police. We've already tried like the don't pay for the stuff in a supermarket. That was the de Blasio era. I mean, that's what happened, actually. That's what happened in 2020 and 2021. Free transit is happening right now. I ride the subway to work every single day. Guys stand there and open doors, and all these this is what kills me. All these young professionals walk right through and don't pay. Like, they're going to go work at one of these high rises right around here, and they
So what's the point in having the gates and stuff at the subway if nobody's bothering to pay? How about just close the subway system down until people start paying?
How about arrest them?
Oh, but the cops are busy doing the catch and release with the really bad criminals who are trying to kill everybody.
Didn't they put the,
And remember, defund the police. Police are bad. Police are racist and all that other garbage.
I think they put the National Guard, though, down in the subways.
Yeah, but they can't really arrest anyone. The most they can do is hold them or detain them until the actual police show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they need to do like a major operation. And,
Oh, they've been needing to, but it isn't going to happen anytime soon
right.
with the mayor in office and the other mayors.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, really, with the way all the looting and the freeloading and the squatting is going on in New York right now, it's already a socialist haven.
Right.
Don't you hate?
Oh, I want this pair of shoes. Let me just steal it.
Exactly.
You see, it's like the Amazon, that one Amazon store where you just walk out with stuff and it scans your credit card.
No. The people would be mad about that. But throw me something together to eat, please.
Let me do these couple comments. Art says that he liked Pam Bondi until she became Attorney General. I agree.
Oh,
Art.
yeah.
Was there a message there from Blue underneath there? Or who was underneath?
No, that's just, she just says that's crazy.
Okay. Then Art says the county elections office sends out a booklet listing all the candidates and other ballot issues up here. Then there's the 10,000 mailers from everybody. I like the idea of a booklet. That'd be cool. And other ballot issues. In many elections, it's not about the winner being popular. It's that the loser is a horrible candidate. People generally don't get that if they like the guy who wins. Also, he says the subway is the only way to get around in New York City. It's just not possible to shut it down. But they could do a better
They
job of
used to get around
enforcing
before
it.
the subway was built. I'm just going to point that out. It took longer. It was a hell of a lot of headache, and there was a ton of horse shit everywhere. Literal horse shit. But they did get around before there was a subway system.
Are
They
you
could do it
proposing?
again,
Are
but
you
nobody's going to
proposing
like it.
horse and buggy again?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hmm.
Why not? Let's have more people hate me on top of it.
Well, I guess we'll have to get rid of the scooters in front of the hotels, and we'll have to park the
Oh,
horses.
the scooters that are stolen routinely?
Yes, and we'll have to put the horse and buggies there in their place.
At least the horses come in with a built-in security system. Someone tries taking them, they can kick them in the face.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm
Yep.
terrible. I know I am. But I say take us back to the 1800s. Screw this shit.
I think there's kind of too many people, perhaps.
Ah, they'll
But
get over it. London did just fine.
I
London
think,
had far more people than New York did in the 1800s.
but not right now. They don't.
Not asking what they got right now. I'm just saying adapt.
I know, but I'm not sure that we'd have enough horses to handle everybody in New York City.
Would it really kill everyone to actually walk or
Probably.
use a bike? A pedal bike.
What's
So,
that?
hey, they want to
What's that?
save the economy. There you
Yeah,
go.
there you
Hop on
go.
a bike.
Well, they do have those e-bikes or whatever the hell they're called.
But those are
They're
bad for the environment.
Oh, I see. Okay,
They have batteries and shit in them.
I see. All right,
So if
go
they
ahead.
want to be real climate warriors, get out there on your feet and a bike and shut the hell up.
All right then, there, Miss Crazy
Okay.
Bee. Hit play.
All right. I'm sorry. It's going to be one of those days. I promise you I'll try to behave.
And they walk in and they don't pay. The Democrats stand in the corners by where I live, and all it is, it's all Democrats. There is no Republican presence in this city. It is all Democrats for city council. It's this guy for mayor. And I just think this town has no competition. This town has no governing competition. And when you have no governing competition, it's a race to the bottom. And this guy is the bottomest of the bottom in terms of his platform right now.
He also supported the anti-Semitic protests that we've seen.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got to pause this. I just read Art's comment. Living is bad for the environment when you get right down to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but then we scream about genocides and all this other stuff. So make up your mind, folks. What's it going to be?
Well,
I know. I'm trying to behave. I
I'll be
really
able to
am.
answer that question later on as well.
Do you want ketchup?
Yes, please. Sorry. Yeah, well, I'm going to behave myself. Let me just hit play because my brain's really not in the sweetest of moods today.
Wonder why.
Well, I can think of a few reasons, but we're not going to go there. So,
Okay.
I don't think the general public wants to know. Anyways, here's play. I'm shutting up.
Yep.
Here, he's been trying to walk that back, Dagan.
I just think about Brandon Johnson because that's what the Chicago Tribune is talking about. And I recall when a group of several hundred teenagers were looting and vandalizing a 7-Eleven in Chicago. The mayor was asked by a reporter about the mob action, and he took issue with the language.
Yeah.
It said, we're not going to call them a mob. We're not going to call these children baby Al Capones. Again, they're worried about controlling your language and changing the meaning of words than actually standing up for the business owners and standing up for the rule of law.
Yeah.
And that's what's coming. But Cuomo, I mean, he's got more baggage than every seat sold 747. Go back to killing the natural gas pipeline from Pennsylvania to having a hand in killing elderly relatives during COVID in nursing homes. And then just his general posture and presence and just the sight of him is repugnant.
The only good news, some business leaders are speaking out. The co-CEO of Warby Parker said, I'm never going to leave New York, but I know a lot of other businesses that will if this guy's elected. Dan Loeb's been speaking out. Bill Ackman has been speaking out and like literally raising alarm at the shocking poll numbers that we see. Here's a positive take, and this shows, I think, the lack of depth that we've talked about within the Democratic Party right now. Not to say that NYC is a bellwether, but this note says if NYC Democrats choose this socialist, markets will conclude that Democrats are falling into the grip of this free spending progressives who don't recognize or acknowledge debt deficits or debt service burdens by which markets are already alarmed. Neither Cuomo or this guy sends a signal to national Democrats that they are ready to face fiscal issues. And they will not be a responsible and trustworthy alternative to Trump and the Republicans. So this shows the lack. This is what the Democrats have, Cuomo and the socialist. There is no alternative right now to any Republican on a national stage, I think, to Trump. And I think the markets will have to digest that.
That's a good point.
Well, socialism does this. Socialism says, I'm going to give in order to control.
Yep.
And it seems great until they break free market economics, and then they get government control.
Right.
That's
Once
where
they
this
have
goes.
the control, then you realize you
it.
just drank the Kool-Aid and it didn't work out
They
well.
want to break free market.
A city-run grocery store. We already have city-run hospitals.
Yeah,
I hope it's not run like the subway.
How's your DMV working for you?
They are, actually, Jackie. They are.
Well, that's it for that one. But yeah.
Alrighty. What's up next?
1 second. Cash Jordan. Where is that? Where did I put it? Was it this one? Yep, this one. Okay, here we are. Oh, this one was great. It's a combination of Mamdani and Ice just sitting in the court hallway, catching people as they come out. Watch this.
ICE is clearing out New York City Immigration Court as we speak.
Yes, but I just hold on. Wait, I have the right for due process, don't I? So why are you grabbing me like this?
Oh, this guy's got jokes.
Remember, you have the right to remain silent. Don't have to say anything. Don't have to answer questions. Don't have to give ID.
The due process is over. That's why they're getting arrested. They're leaving court, not entering. Who's this? Oh, this little guy right here. Wait, are they arresting more than one person? This is crazy. Look how many agents there are. They got bulletproof vests, masks.
That's scary.
All these people taking their pictures. Their families are in danger.
It's sad that there's got to be that many ICE agents just to get one person out. Is it because that guy is wanted dead, or is it because, someone could break him free?
That, or they, ICE could be attacked. You don't know what's going on, right? I mean, all of the above, probably. That's probably why they want Art says due process comes after the arrest, not during the arrest. Well, they had their due process on the first go around. So they've left court, they've had their due process. So now they're leaving court. And I really don't know. Do we know the outcome of all their cases? I don't know.
Nope. I don't even know who half these people are.
Yeah, they don't
I don't even know
say.
any of them,
Uh-uh.
actually.
Uh-uh. So we don't really know what or who they are. But to have that
Hmm.
many agents around just to get one little guy, that's
Safely.
correct. Yep.
Hmm.
So and
All
now
right.
what they're indicating is ICE is being masked now because they're being identified and they're being doxxed,
Docs. Yep.
and their families are now in danger as well.
Hmm.
So they're they're trying to shield their identity as best they can. I
Yep.
mean, and really, why not? We got the criminals are out there. The protesters are out there. They won't show their face. Make that make sense. Why not?
Hmm.
If you're
I
protesting,
don't like that they are in street clothes,
hmm
especially in a court setting like this. They could be in uniform here. If they were out on the street and they didn't want to scare everyone in the neighborhood to go running, I could see being in street clothes. But in a court building, no, you should be in uniform.
mm,
That's my only critique.
yeah, I'm not sure why. Uh, but what else does Art say? They may have been in court on a non-immigration case. ICE then picks them up because they know where to find them in court. Exactly, and that's what they wanted to
I
do.
like that idea.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, hit
All
play.
right.
Danger. And look, they just gotta wait for the elevator while this is happening, and the whole press is around them. And now watch, they're gonna have to go to the elevator. It's just total mayhem.
They're literally corral.
Kidnapping. Oh, who they got this time? Ooh. Wow. They need so many agents because this is dangerous. They could get attacked. Okay, no audio means someone is saying something that we're not supposed to hear. That's why the New York Post muted this video. Look at this guy right here. They've got him. This guy's saying something. Yes, there must be some conversation right now that we're not supposed to know about. But when you watch this stuff, it's important to understand most of the people being deported lied to get into this country.
And you're 100% right. That was the biggest thing, was all these false claims. So we went to heaven, catch and release, all these people coming in with fake claims who are still here right now with court dates down the road. And now he wants to turn it back to catch and release and just open it back up. We have the most secure border right now under President Trump and Secretary Noem, and this only sets us back with these radical left agendas.
Right there, acting ICE director. Most people filed fraudulent asylum claims to begin with, which is why they're being deported. But what activists are really upset about is U.S. citizens who are hostile to America could lose their naturalized citizenship. Listen to this.
As the Trump administration boosts its immigration enforcement, the Department of Justice is issuing a directive now aimed at naturalized citizens,
stripping away citizenship for naturalized Americans who commit certain crimes.
Great idea.
Ranging from fraud to war crimes.
I think that's okay.
Really what this means is the Department of Justice is prioritizing potentially stripping naturalized citizens of their citizenship in a way that we haven't seen in the past, and is doing so potentially on a much broader scale.
Loyola
From
law professor
war
Jessica
criminals.
Levinson says
Why do they want war
denaturalization
criminals?
is rare in recent U.S. history, and when it was used, it was sparingly for very specific cases.
Oftentimes it's based on lying to say that you were eligible to be a citizen at all, or committing some sort of fraud prior to becoming a naturalized citizen.
So if someone gets citizenship and they lied, why should they get to keep it? They stole it.
Or crimes that are listed that would qualify for stripping people of their citizenship.
The list in the memo includes people who engage in torture, human rights violations, and those who further the enterprise of criminal gangs.
Get rid of those people.
Also, those who committed fraud, including fraud of the Paycheck Protection Program or the PPP loan program. also listed any other cases referred to
I
the
was
civil
gonna pause.
division
Hold on.
that the division.
Go ahead.
The PPP program. Really?
Yeah, people who desperately needed it couldn't get it,
Right,
and you
right.
accidentally moved that out of sight, out of half off the screen. So I'm gonna have to lock it. But yeah,
I'm sorry. I accidentally threw half a bottle of Mountain Dew on myself. So go ahead, do what you got to do, Crazy B.
yeah. But
Uh,
yeah, for all the people who desperately needed for the
yes.
COVID lockdowns, and the
You
ones
mean
who
like our
scammed.
small business? You mean like our small
Yeah, but
business?
you know
Yeah.
what? You're never gonna get that money
Nope.
after the fact.
Nope. And
They
but
got it by scamming, but you
yes,
guys
they
ain't gonna
did.
ever see it.
Right.
You ain't
And
ever gonna see the relief you applied for.
nope. And even people like somehow like Barbara Streisand got it for her gardener. She got money
Uh-huh.
from the PPP program. How'd that happen?
But again, now how are they gonna now see in a normal case, let's say someone scammed your bank for
Right.
money, they would pay you back
Yes,
what
they
you
would.
lost out on because of that scam.
Right.
You are not going to get paid for a loan you were qualified for years later
Correct. Yep.
in this circumstance. That's
Correct.
not right.
And I
And you guys
wonder
are still
just.
suffering.
But what's interesting is there must be enough cases, perhaps. Like, why would they tie the PPP program to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I could make some racist comments, but we won't. But you could
Yeah.
think of some, sure, of where the money went.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. There has to be. I mean, they have to have some data on it. Where the hell do you pull PPP out of? I mean, that really is
It was part of some of
the
the people
COVID,
who've been getting
right?
arrested.
Right. But that really is an interesting twist to the program, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Okay, couple comments. Art says they may have been in. Okay, we did that one. Looks like a
Yep.
typical arrest to me. I don't see anything shocking here. It's very difficult to remove citizenship once granted. The grounds are very limited and difficult to prove. And cheating the PPP program is simply a crime, and you cannot prosecute them like any other citizen. It's not grounds to revoke citizenship. Well,
But it's
apparently,
grounds to put him in jail.
yeah. And there you go.
May not be able to revoke your citizenship, but we can sure put you in jail.
Yeah. Well, they're going to try everything they can, I think, right now to revoke citizenships if they can.
I just worry about that being weaponized later down the
Well,
road.
oh, it's all if it ain't one, it's the other, as you said. You know what I mean? What
I
one
know.
does, the other follows, and what the other does, the other one sometimes follows and doesn't. That's where we talk about corruption.
I know. And that's again where I'm sitting here dreading what the future is going to hold.
Mm-hmm. Well,
all right.
Okay, what
Back
else
to
we
play.
got? Okay.
Oh, there's still more. This is only 4 minutes out of 12.
Did you say that you had to fix something for something I did?
Oh, yeah, you slid it off to the side, the video. I had to
Oh.
lock the video back into place so we could watch it without it being moved all over.
Thank you. Mine's all fuzzy, by the way. I don't know if it's...
No, it's because of the way it's paused. It paused at a fuzzy scene.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
Division determines to be sufficiently important.
We don't
to
want these
pursue.
people in our country.
The language critics say is both broad and dangerous.
Oh my gosh.
And maybe you think on the face of it, I'm not in trouble for this isn't me, but you really don't know how broadly it can
Oh my goodness. They are just trying to scare people, but you know who's scared? The future mayor of New York City.
It's a total nut job. I think the people of New York are crazy. If they go this route, I think they're crazy. We will have a communist for the first time, really, a pure, true communist.
We understand that democracy is under attack from both. It is under attack from Washington, D.C., and it's under attack from within.
Zorahn Mamdani fires back at President Trump after Mr. Trump promised to save New York City, calling Mamdani a communist lunatic.
While yesterday, Mamdani responded to the president's threats that he'll have him arrested if Mamdani blocks ICE deportations in New York. Ultimately, it is easier for him to fan the flames of division than to acknowledge the ways in which he has betrayed those working class Americans, not just in the city, but across this country. What I fear for is that if this is what Donald Trump and his administration feel comfortable about saying about the Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City, imagine what they feel comfortable saying and doing about immigrants whose names they don't even know.
Actually, whether or not you're the nominee for mayor of New York City has nothing to do with it. If you say you're going to get elected and actively resist the federal government and actively do things that are a crime and the president says he'll arrest you, well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
I'm not going to let the communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all the levers and have all the cards. I'll save New York City and make it hot and great again, just like I did with the good old USA. I wonder, Joe, if the president is getting involved and speaking up and speaking out against Mamdani, because I don't see any Democrats that are.
Well, that's exactly right. We
That's
saw
a good
Eric
point.
Adams before not get drawn into that. Andrew Cuomo, pretty silent to this point. And
There's nothing
obviously,
they say.
leaders like Hakeem Jeffries or Nancy Pelosi or Kamala Harris will not speak out against Mamdani, who, again, this is somebody who is proposing things that are not of this world or even this
That's right.
galaxy. I mean, in terms of universal free childcare, free busing, government-run supermarkets, seizing the manufacturing industry by the government, defunding the police,
Great.
making sure ICE doesn't deport one illegal migrant out of this country who may have committed horrific crimes. So you look at all of that, and there's plenty to criticize here. And unless your name's John Fetterman, it seems that Democrats are very, very hesitant to criticize a man clearly who is embracing communist proposals and to this point has been winning on those because young voters seem to be attracted to getting a lot of free stuff.
But there's another reason why other Democrats refuse to criticize Zorahn Mamdani, the now Democrat nominee for mayor, and that's because he's at the top of the protected class hierarchy.
And that's what I will do. I am Donald Trump's worst nightmare as a progressive Muslim immigrant who actually fights for the things that I believe in. And the difference between myself and Andrew Cuomo.
Right. So what you just heard right there makes him.
He is the Donald Trump's worst nightmare. He's America in general's worst nightmare.
Yes, he is.
Oh, you are the reason everybody was paranoid of communists back in the 70s.
Wow. And it's probably those people that are still paranoid, as it was mentioned. The young people seem to be drawn to him.
Well, because they haven't been warned properly how bad communism is. They're
and
just
I wonder-
enticed with free things, not
Yeah.
the downside of the free
Right.
things.
And I wonder where the lack of knowledge came from. Why they're
The
not.
schools, the parents not taking time.
Uh-huh. Not only the high schools, but the colleges as well, perhaps.
Oh, we already know that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay,
it's a messed up system.
Yeah, so hold on. So Art says to remove citizenship, then you have to have lied on your application, and that lie has to have been grounds to deny citizenship if it was known at the time you applied. Okay. And you're going to get into state rights, and federal government is limited in what they can require of the state. So it's not quite so clear what powers Trump actually has.
The most he can do is have Mandami investigated. That's the most he'll be able to do. Anything beyond that, he has no say over because, well, now we're going back to the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln overstepping his bounds and we end up with the South versus the North, which I
Ugh.
know a lot of people support, but I'd like to see less people die.
Well, are we going north and south, or
Coast
what are,
versus
yeah,
exterior versus interior.
yeah, what are
I
we doing?
don't know. The borders versus interior or what?
Ugh.
Honestly, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Are we going north and south, or east and west, or borders versus interior?
It's hard to say, but I'm not looking forward to any of it because I think we still have time to peacefully resolve this. And Trump needs to not sit there and boast about something he may not actually have shit to do with.
Well,
And like I've said, people are stupid, but it's within their rights to be stupid. And I can point out they're stupid, but I can't take the rights away from them.
mm-hmm. Go ahead, hit play.
Alrighty.
Makes him totally immune from criticism from his own party. Plus, it's not like he doesn't promote things the entire party believes in anyways. They're going to vote for him in New York, and they're going to love it.
Why do you think that is? I mean, it's true. I mean, Mamdani seems to have a chokehold on these highly educated, younger voters.
They love him.
Those were the people who came out for him, who got on social media,
right.
TikTok, and did all the videos for him. What is going on? Is this more about socialism, or is this kind of a pushback
It's the
on
Trump
President Trump?
resistance movement in full swing.
New Yorker, I was not actually surprised by the results here because I think my generation does kind of go off of vibes and feels more than actual policy positions or the practicality of them. I mean, I don't think that he will get any of these things past Albany realistically, but he is young and relatable to the typical young person in terms of how he appears on social media compared to Cuomo, who's sort of seen as the old guard or the sort of traditional Democrat. And so I think this is sort of an expression of youth nihilism in politics where they just want something new and different, even if it's crazy and exotic and it's government takeover of the supermarkets tomorrow. It's like, whatever, we don't care, and we'll show up to the polls to just vote for anything other than what we have, which is kind of a sad expression of the state.
Okay, that's part of it. But the other part, I mean, who was his competition in the Democrat primary? Former Governor Cuomo, who resigned because of harassment and has a whole bunch of problems of his own. That guy never stood a chance. I don't even know why he was up there as the quote-unquote front runner. He got absolutely demolished. People don't want to vote for that.
And I think some people would make the argument that some of these young people are learning this at their universities, right? So I want to move on to this topic, what's happening at Columbia University, where the president, Claire Shipman, just apologized for something. I mean, it's unbelievable. She writes this: "Let me be clear, the things I said in a moment of frustration and stress were wrong. They do not reflect how I feel. It was a moment of immense pressure over a year and a half ago as we navigated some deeply turbulent times. But that doesn't change the fact that I made a mistake." This is about trying to get rid of a Jewish member and trying to bring, I believe, an Arab in. I mean, Joe, you've been following this story.
Columbia's crazy.
I don't even know if you can apologize your way out of this.
I don't think you can, Aisha. I mean, Claire Shipman, if that name sounds familiar, by the way, that's because she used to be a pretty big deal over at ABC News. And now for her to just apologize and simply walk away from what she said, sorry, there needs to be far more accountability.
Who do you think the people on the screen right here are going to vote for? Who do you think they're going to vote for? You think they're going to vote for somebody like President Trump or for somebody who's the opposite of President Trump?
This is the challenge for Democrats. They
have
appeared to be stuck.
Okay. Go ahead.
By the way, this chick here, her name is Selena Zito. I went to school with her. She has interviewed every president since she graduated from college. She just wrote a book on the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Crazy B and I are considering, I might reach out to her and see if she would be willing to come on the show. So it's been a long time since her and I talked, but we used to hang out together. So she has been a political consultant, political advisor, and now she does commentary. The one thing I don't like is she's on CNN a lot, She leans towards the left, but it doesn't mean she's not good for a conversation. So that's the same person, Crazy B.
Okay. Let me hit play again.
And I believe they started being stuck in the middle of Biden's administration, and that continued with Harris's candidacy, but has been, still staying there since the election and since the inauguration. They can't seem to get their footing in a way to appeal to the middle of the country. To win presidential elections, you have to be able to appeal to the working class, and they're not putting forth those ideals that will bring them over.
So Democrats in New York City have lined up between Zorahn Mamdani. Listen to what some of his democratic socialist agenda is.
Our police force should not be assisting ICE.
Defund the NYPD and refund all of these different
Stop
social
right there,
services.
Crazy
I will create a
B.
network of city-owned grocery
Back
stores.
a little bit if you can.
Okay.
That one piece where he was talking to the Asian community there. I don't know if you can
Okay,
catch
give me
it
1
or not.
second.
Okay, right there. Go back.
Right here?
No, go forward just a tad.
That
Stop.
one?
Right there. Why does he have a different name there?
Because Kwame's his middle name. I Googled
Is?
it. It took
You did
all of
Google
3
it?
seconds to Google it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
3 seconds on Google. I asked what's Zoran's middle name, and it's Kwame. Yeah, he put his full name there for a change.
why is he using that for the South Asian media? Why isn't he using Mandami?
It could be part of the culture to use their full name.
Well, or his middle name, you mean?
Well, it would be his full first, middle, and last.
Yeah, but he
full
doesn't
name.
have his last name listed there.
Yeah, he does. It's just dude's pictures in the way.
It is listed?
I believe I when I went and was looking, I saw the video pop up before on my YouTube. I didn't grab it, but I believe Cash Jordan's picture right
Put
here
his
is in
picture in
blocking
front of it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
then. Okay. I was concerned that he was just displaying one name.
Oh yeah, no. No, I
It'd
think
be
his
nice if
name's
you
there.
tell
It's
me
just
these
hidden.
things when you're doing this, I wouldn't have made you stop.
Oh, well. Well, now the entire audience knows.
There you go.
All right, hit play.
Yep.
Fund all of these different social services.
I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores. It's like a public option for produce.
I'll freeze the rent for millions of tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal childcare. And before you ask, I'll pay for it by taxing the rich.
As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu.
Okay, so he says all of that, but you have to understand something about New York City. Even though he says he's going to tax the rich, you've got to understand these rich people, they hate President Trump so much that they're still going to vote for their own taxes and their own livelihoods to be potentially destroyed. I mean, just look at how New York City residents in these rich white neighborhoods that are now going to get taxed heavily voted 84% for Kamala Harris. How are those people going to vote Republican in some upcoming election? They're not. Whoever's got a D next to their name is going to get the vote of those people because they're voting for the opposite of Donald Trump and they don't care what that is. If Trump's over here, they're voting over here. And I guess this is what being a city, a sanctuary city as part of a resistance movement is all about. Anyways.
That was it for that video.
Mm-hmm. And it is, 4:37. Let's see what else we got.
We do have another quick, well, it's not necessarily quick. I think this one ended up being 15 minutes long.
Okay, let's do some comments. Art says, even the South had issues. That's how we got West Virginia. It's complicated.
Yep.
Also, this is just what happens when only a small fraction of eligible voters show up to the polls. Don't read too much more into it. That's correct, and that's what they said. Hardly anybody showed up that particular day. And then the last comment he makes is, I don't care which way somebody may lean as long as they can be fair in their presentation. I agree.
That's the way I am too. If you can back it up, we can have a fair conversation. If you can't, well, sorry, try again later.
There you go. Another thing to say. The thing about rich people is they have the ability to avoid taxes. So taxing the rich never really works the way they want. That's true.
And it's just a talking point because look how much Hillary Clinton bitched about it. But when she was, when her husband was in office, and how many people got tax breaks in the big business industries and stuff. I mean, come on, they're full of shit.
Yes,
and we all know it. It's just a talking point. They'll never do anything about.
Right. But who's the ones that will get hit with the tax? It's going to be the working class.
All of us little idiots.
Uh-huh. Yep. All right, go ahead, hit play, Crazy B.
All right. Oh, that's it for this video.
Okay.
And I was saying the next one is about 15 minutes long, which wouldn't be fair. And I don't think I have anything that is online with Mamdani that's a short.
It's only 4:40. Why don't we? Which one is it?
It's the Mamdani on Meet the Press.
Oh.
It's not a short one.
Yeah. Okay, what else do we have up in the frying pan?
This one's relatively short. Hold on. Let me put this one up.
Okay.
It's the survivors of communism who've come to America.
Okay.
And I think it's like all of 5 minutes long.
Okay, let's check that out.
All right. I didn't really bother editing it because of the accent. The closed captions would have been a nightmare. So, yeah.
Hey, JJ.
No closed captioned on this one. Hey, JJ. All right. Oh, that's right. I had to do it down here. We do what we know about the What do we know about the IRS?
What do we know about the Tiger?
Yeah. I've got a long and opinionated definition of what the IRS is, but it's not nice.
Yeah, we'd probably get in trouble. All right.
Oh, always. Let me hit play. Oh, God. What did my hands just do?
Nothing.
Hey.
Joining us now, two refugees who've lived through the horrors of socialism and communism. New Hampshire congressional candidate Lily Tong Williams and Manhattan Institute fellow Daniel DiMartino. Great to see both of you. Lily, what do you say to Zorahn Mamdani, who is the Democrat now running for the mayor here? Or what do you say to people who vote for socialism?
Well, the people who vote for socialism are the ones who never lived it, who never suffered from the hunger and poverty and the lack of freedom and police state. So those people should be educated about history better. That's failure of our American education system. Our kids don't know the history, and they bought into free stuff provided by government. That's how Mao sold the socialism, communism to millions Chinese, and the millions of them starving to death by his central plan.
In case anyone doesn't know, she's actually running for some political office, I believe, out of Colorado. Yeah, she's absolutely had enough of the communism trying to move into America.
Right.
There's the play button.
Planning socialist policies. So I'm running because I don't want this country become the country I left. And I don't want anybody to take away my gun rights. That's God-given rights. I will never compromise.
I love it. Well, Danielle, I want to ask you something that I'm really perplexed about, and it's not only young people that are gravitating towards the AOCs and the Mamdanis of the Democrat Party, but I'm rather perplexed and confused why white, I call them overly educated liberals. When you look at the breakdown of this Democrat mayoral primary in New York City this week, you're not necessarily seeing the working class. You're not seeing black voters, Hispanic voters. You're not seeing them showing out necessarily for Mamdani, but you're seeing the white liberals, and those are the ones that were celebrating, cheering up and down for him. You got to help me understand, what is it about that group of people that makes them cheer so ferociously for socialism?
Yeah, thank you all, and thank you for having me. Good to see you all again. Look, what really concerns me about this is what you said, Tommy, that it is really highly educated young people who turned out for Mamdani. And it is really not shocking because I went to Columbia for my PhD and I saw it myself. People there are the most supportive of socialism. And the reason is because of our colleges here in America. That was one of the most shocking things I saw when I first came to America in 2016, was that it was higher education that was captured by Marxists. And so what happened in Venezuela, that people voted for a socialist regime, unlike in China or unlike in the Soviet Union, can clearly happen here too. And Mamdani might not be able to turn New York City into Caracas because he's mayor and not tyrant, but the point is Americans are willing to vote for someone like him. And today is New York City, tomorrow is the rest of America.
Well, his campaign, he's the child of a famous film director, and his campaign is definitely kind of social media managed. It has that kind of film of like a filter over it. He always tilts his head to seem more endearing when he's on camera. Daniel, doesn't that have something to do with it?
I think he's extremely charismatic, and that's why he's extremely dangerous. I think he lies even when he smiles. I mean, I have very strong opinions about him. His middle name is actually after the dictator of Ghana, not some civil rights leader, but somebody who was named president for life. And so he's friends with the Democratic Socialists of America. That's who trained him. This is an organization that regularly sends people to meet with the dictators of Cuba and Venezuela. He does not want to make New York City into Scandinavia. He wants to make us into Venezuela. The question is whether we will let him. It's whether Americans will let these socialist ideas take over.
Lily, I know that you have fled horrible conditions, and so many immigrants like yourself, they're saying the same thing that you are. Listen, don't make America like the place that I fled from. Now, this is New York City. Obviously, it's deep blue. How concerned are you that other places, maybe not as deep blue as New York City?
What was that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I swear you just came through saying, hold on a second.
No, ma'am, I did not. Not a word. You're hearing things.
Oh, that was weird.
Do.
It's the ghost. It's the ghost.
Yes, it is.
All right, let me get back to play because
right.
I have a lot to add after this. She makes some really good points, and so did the young guy.
Are going to follow this example, and do you think this is going to be the way that the Democrat Party trends?
Yes, I have seen the radical left wing of Democrat Party took over their voter bases, and that's one of the tactics they use. They use cultural Marxism, identity politics to divide and conquer. They control the media, social media, and schools, and cultural institutions, like take over some churches and nuclear families, and get the kids against their parents and walk away to authority figures. Those are very similar to what I saw under Mao's Cultural Revolution. That's why I'm warning people that we don't want to go down that way, because they sell you free stuff to get you buy into it. Once they totally disarm you and silence you and install police state, destabilize our country, then you will lose all your natural rights guaranteed by the founding fathers in the documentation called the independence, our Constitution.
Lily Tong Williams and Daniel DiMartino, great to see both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, she's not wrong about how they weasel their way in with the promise of free things, because it's not the first, only, and last time we will see this in history.
That's correct.
It's absolutely not. And
And
it's
so many,
scary.
yeah, and so many people want to hear that free offerings and
Well,
never
they're used to their parents telling them, no, you can't have that. We can't afford it.
right. And they, they don't realize, however, how is that being paid for and by who?
Doesn't matter. It's free.
Right?
And it's one of the things that, just absolutely, and she's right. Once they trap you with the free things, they're going to tell you, oh, see, now you
Mhm.
don't need guns. Everything's great.
Right.
And then it's really going to be bad.
It kind of reminds you of like kind of the drug cartels, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
They get you, and once they got you, you're not getting out.
Exactly. And it's not good. We need to prevent it. We need to desperately convince our kids and our younger generation why free things are not good. They
Right.
sound good, but they're never actually good.
I mean, I think
Don't believe the free candy sign on the panel van.
exactly. I think that Eric Adams made a huge mistake by not running either A as a Democrat again or B he should have just went to the Republican side. His chances of winning as an independent I think are small.
I don't know.
I mean, I would hope that they would kind of come out for him given the situation, but usually independents, aren't that successful. And why he did what he did, I don't understand. I know he was disillusioned in some respects with the Democratic Party, but he either should have just stayed with it and made whatever changes he could possibly make, within the, he could have made changes in the city, either positive or negative, right? If he was Democrat or Republican. But
Or
what?
Hotel California. You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Yeah.
Beautiful quote. So
Mhm.
true on so many topics.
Yep.
And vanilla, I'm younger. I got free candy. Was it bad? Well,
Vanilla.
um, um, anyways.
Vanilla likes free
Uh,
things. Well,
yeah,
you
well,
might
nope.
like free things, but somebody's always paying for it.
And you may not pay right away, but guess what? A couple years down the road, you'll be paying and you won't
Yep.
like it.
That
That's
includes
how
the.
it always goes.
Uh-huh.
So, well, that's pretty much it that we got for today.
Okay. Did
Um,
you say that we had a short?
no, that was the shorter video. Nothing
Okay.
on shorts on when it comes to Mandami.
Okay.
Uh,
Do we have a short on anything else that you have available?
let me look. I'm just rearranging things here so I can have them in the right order for the show notes. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I gotta. Oh my God, I hate my hands. I did not do that.
You didn't, but I did.
Uh, there we go. Okay, now everything's where I need it to be. Do I have another short? There was that Benny Johnson Alligator Alcatraz threat.
Okay, why don't we play that? Just something a little bit different. We're working on trying to clean up the files so that we can get back to some projects that we've been working on.
Let me see if I can find it. Of course. Why would that be where I need it to be? Okay. Um, where did I put that one?
And you
There it is.
in file.
Got it.
Okay.
No, it's on my computer file,
Oh,
not in the show notes.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, there we are. Let's hit play.
I'll be in jail if I see somebody wearing an Alligator Alcatraz shirt or any type of merch. It is a concentration camp, and using that language matters. It is a concentration camp, and we're acting like it's an amusement park. It's disgusting.
I'm waiting.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. You know, just
I like
go
the
back to her
sarcasm there.
picture. Just scroll back a little bit, Crazy B. Seriously?
Hold on one second. Because I have it locked in. Um, there we are.
Yeah. Like, what is she gonna do?
Stare at him.
I mean, really? Like, she's making threats if she sees somebody? Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe her.
Uh-huh. She's full of shit. You know, these
I
people
just don't
that...
see her doing anything.
No, I mean, and even if she would attempt to do something, she looks like, you know, you'd be able to give her a quick puff and she'd blow over, you know? I just...
Yeah.
It just always intrigues me on the people that come out aggressively against something and meanwhile have nothing to back it up with.
Oh yeah, I know. I love it when you got the little ankle biter chihuahua that actually the only thing it can do to you is cause you to get an infected bite. You're more likely to die of the infection to the bite than the actual bite or the dog.
Right.
It's a secondary infection.
Mm-hmm.
All the complaints about Alligator Alcatraz are such BS. It's just old. Everything is at this point.
Right. I mean, I like the idea of Alligator Alcatraz. You won't have to worry about security and
Oh yeah.
limit the amount of roving guards, I guess.
Oh, there's natural guards.
Uh-huh. Yep, that would just, you know.
I like natural guards. It's why Siberia has so many gulags in it. There's a natural guard. It's called sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah, I know this the suburbia.
Well, I think the Sub-Zero versus the Alligator might be a tad different. No, I don't know about that.
Freezing to death is less painful than being mauled to death by an alligator or swallowed alive by a boa.
Yeah, I don't.
I'll take freezing to death over that.
Me too. I don't think I'd like to be chomped on by, you know, like a shark or by an alligator. You know, I don't want to be torn to bits and pieces.
Yeah, I don't either. So I'll take the Siberian tundra of freezing.
Right. Okay, so here's Art. I have no problems with housing people pending deportation in an abandoned airfield. Well, that's fine.
I don't either.
I don't either. I mean, they need some place to stay, and I don't think they should be staying at the hotels.
Yep, and I think our jails are too cushy for
Yeah,
people
right.
in general. Out of all of the countries in the world, we do have some of the cushiest jails. We are too kind on our criminals. My personal opinion.
Hmm.
But it is our laws. I just think our laws might need to be changed to make crime less
More.
friendly.
And you didn't want to
And we
see
don't
them,
need to believe them every time they scream inhumane.
right? And you didn't want to see them go back to Alcatraz, though. You thought that was a little bit too much
Well, no, Alcatraz would have cost us way too much fucking money to repair to
to
put people
fix.
there.
So just like
Yeah,
make our own.
Yes. I'm thinking fiscally Alcatraz isn't worth it.
right.
I'm saying in general, any pick a jail, throw a dart at a jail in
Oh, most of
America.
them are.
Detroit.
Yeah,
They're
most of
still
them are.
better than most other countries.
Yep. Yeah, I really don't know too many that would rise to that level. Well, there was. Oh, that's not true. There was a program that I watched regarding like the top 10 worst jails, and had two of them in the United States, actually. We had 2 out of the 8 as the worst.
Between where? All of the world or
Uh-huh. The
just
entire world.
parts of Americas?
No, the entire world. We had 2 of the worst.
Oh.
I'll have to see if I could find that video again. It was very
To
interesting.
make
Because I
crime
never would have
less
assumed that we even
comfortable.
had 1, let alone 2.
Yeah, I think they might be exaggerating just to throw us on there so we look bad.
Well, possibly.
Compare us to a jail in Africa. Compare us to a jail in South America or Mexico.
And
Compare
they
us
did.
into a jail
In
in
Russia.
anywhere else.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
And that's what I was.
China.
Yeah, that's why I
I'm
was
not talking them. I'm talking personal. Talk to someone who's been in a foreign jail, not some documentary thing. Find
Yeah.
someone online and ask them the difference.
Well, you can do that. I'll give you the name of the program and you can go from there. That's all. I'm just bringing up, extraneous
I know, but on the
information.
documentaries and stuff like that, they always try to add at least one from a decent country that doesn't have anything bad. They got to drag everyone down equally
I see.
because they're trying to be fair. Now, I've known people who've stayed in jails in Africa and in South America. I already talked to the people. Trust me, you don't want to be there. You do not want to be there. We are like a 5-star motel compared to them. So, yeah. I think we're just a little too kind on the human rights thing.
Alrighty then. With that being said, it's 5:01. And I'm kind of done for the day. Actually,
I know. I pretty much am as
yeah.
well.
Eric and Jacob are going out for early date night. Normally that's on Saturday, but poor Jacob is feeling left out because of the baby.
Well,
So,
yeah.
Art says it all depends on who's doing the comparison of the jails. Some of the world's organizations tend to find the lack of TV in the rec room as torture.
Yes.
Possibly, right? Possibly. I mean, heck, look at
Or, oh, they don't have a thick enough mattress to lay on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, their toilet paper is only single ply.
Right.
Oh no, what will they ever do? Can't they just make up 2-ply by adding, grabbing 2 sheets?
Or doubling it up.
But they only get so many rolls per week, right?
Uh-huh.
So you got to make do with what you have unless you can get some from the commissary. And if you don't have any money,
Oh, yeah.
well, then you're stuck. What do you do?
Oh, that's if you're even in a country that's nice enough to give you toilet paper.
This is true. We won't go there, however. I've ended up with puke on me today and Mountain Dew all over the place, and so I'm done. So we don't need to talk about the other end coming out. Oh, knock on wood that doesn't happen next. But
Yeah.
tomorrow we're gonna continue with Mandami. Is that correct?
If we have, I think 3 or 4 more videos. Hold on, let me double check. Let's see.
That
We
means I
have
should
1,
probably.
2. Okay, we have 2 more videos on that, and I think there's. I think there's more. Hold on, because you sent some, and I don't think I carried the links over. Damn it. Hold on, un momento.
Okay, and while you're doing that, JJ is laughing, and Art says you only get 3 squares of toilet paper daily. LOL, it is torture. LOL.
1, 2.
Buckle my shoe.
Oh no, there's only 2 more.
Okay, well I
And then
better
the
look at.
rest are going forward from there.
Okay, I better look then for whatever else I wanted. Well, I
Oh
hate.
no, I think we've got plenty on him. I think we've covered him. I mean, unless you want. Oh no, 3. We have 3.
All right,
1,
let me just
2,
double check what I
and then
have. All right, I have
yeah,
something
3. We
open
have
on
3
him.
more videos.
Okay, I have something open on him. Let me just verify that it's. If it's something we already have, I won't worry about it. All right.
Alrighty.
And if anything, we will. Oh, maybe I deleted it already. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, it's. Oh, hold on. I'm in the wrong spot. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, wow. Alright, I'm gonna have to search them, Crazy Bee. Alright.
Yep,
There
I
he is.
see 1, 2.
Yeah, you know what? I think
3.
I got him.
Oh no, a total of 4. We have 2 from Lou, and
Okay.
then
Alright,
a couple
I got.
others.
With what I have is we're okay, so ignore anything else. We'll finish him tomorrow then. Alright?
Alrighty.
Alright, then that sounds like a plan. We're gonna complete Mandami tomorrow and then pick up any we have a lot of extras to go through, so we'll just knock them out of the ballpark as Crazy Bee puts them out. So that
That's
okay.
the attempt.
You got it. With that being said, we appreciate everybody being here. Please like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. That's the biggest way you can support the channel. It gets the algorithm boosted. Crazy Bee is actually going to make some shorts, 3 of them, I believe, from yesterday, one including my screaming, and I forget what the other 2 are right off the top of my head, but.
Me being a smartass.
Okay. Both times?
I believe you said so. Yeah, I'll have to listen back through it and clip where you said to in the video.
We'll get it, but so again, if you would like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe, that's the greatest help that you could give to us for right now. So with that being said, I'm done. Everybody have a good evening, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right. Y'all, stay safe, stay sane, stay sober. We'll catch you tomorrow-ish, maybe. We'll see how it goes.
JJ says before we go, good stuff from what he was able to catch. Have a pleasant evening, ladies, and see you on Common Censored on Rumble. JJ, I'll probably be past out by then.
I'm hoping I will be there, but I can't make promises tonight. I don't know what's going on with me. I'll see. I'll try. I may be passed out halfway through, but I will put forth an effort.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling good still and on medication. And I'll tell you what, baby JJ gives me a run for my money every day. And by the time he's gone, I have nothing left to give. And actually, when I listen to Sterling, though, after a while, he can lull me to sleep. So he might be my best place to go. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be able to pop in for a little bit. You know, if he's on the ish side, we might be good. It all depends. But yeah,
Yep.
I've been neglecting some of my other mod duties actually as well. I just can't stay up past 8:30. I'm
You
zombified by
used to
that
be able
point.
to, but then the baby wiped you out.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be up by 6:30, quarter to 7, to get things ready to roll for Eric to get out of the house, and for got bottles to prepare, formula to make. Oh my gosh, it's like, oh, it's crazy. Laundry to do, all of that, taking care of his stuff. It's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy duty, but
That's how it goes.
for the next, how many months now? We're done. March, April, May, June, July. So we got 2 years. I can't even count right now. We
8
got,
months,
yeah, 8
give or
months.
take.
Yeah. Oh my. That's a
We'll
long
get
time.
there, one day at a time.
There we go. All right, people. Have a good evening. Wait,
All
baby
right.
JJ's
Peace
job is
out.
to keep me going. Yeah, I think you might be right, Art, that's probably why he's here. But it's he's something else, I'll tell you that. Anyway, peace out, as Crazy B said. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good night.